Hello and welcome into the newest episode of Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and we are officially under 100 days until the start of the 2025 NFL season, and the excitement continues to build around the New England Patriots, who are primed to go from one of the NFL's cellar dwellers in 2024 to a potential playoff team being projected already for 8.5 wins by the betting market. Before we jump into everything, let's make sure that you go down and subscribe for our channel. Get in the comments and let us know what you think about the Patriots' moves, all of them, heading into this season, which has really transformed this roster. Make sure you go back and check out our old videos to get up to date on everything going on in Foxborough, and make sure you give us a like if you like what you hear. Starting off, we look at that roster construction and the amount of turnover that Elliott Wolf, Robert Kraft, Mike Vrabel, and company have put in to ensure that this team looks nothing like last year's while still keeping the core and essentially the identity that is so important to this team. Of the 91 players that are currently on this roster, 44 are new Patriots, an impressive roster as only 47 were on the roster last season. That's a near 50% churn rate that is coming out for this team. When you only win 4 games and you pick number 4 in the NFL draft, you can see why it's so necessary. It is disappointing that something like this did not happen the past 2 seasons when you go 4-13 in back-to-back years, but it is good to see that the Patriots are finally taking things seriously and deciding to turn things over and make a lot of big changes. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, the mark is actually tied for the 4th highest turnover with the Panthers, behind only the Las Vegas Raiders at 44 returning players, the Titans at 44 as well, and the Minnesota Vikings at 45. So the Patriots, again, doing everything they can to ensure that this team is at least in the hunt for a playoff spot. And as Mike Vrabel said in one of his early press conferences, or I should say in one of his early addresses to the team, is that they are seeking their first AFC East title since 2019. It'd be long overdue. It's 6 years coming in, but this is something that the Patriots are now primed to do because of the amount of roster turnover that they have put in. The Patriots will be focusing on the offensive line as a part of that turnover with 3 new starters coming in. Obviously, Will Campbell with the number 4 overall pick, joining and starting at that left tackle spot. Morgan Moses on the opposite bookend, and also getting a new center with James Bradbury coming over from the Minnesota Vikings. Those are 3 new starters with the 2 guards. Cole Strange obviously working his way back, the former first rounder, and Michael Onwenu, one of the highest paid Patriots from last season's team. But the question remains, is that good enough? Morgan Moses does have a great deal of injury history, and he's already out recovering from that surgery he had in the offseason due to injury sustained way back in week 3 of last year. Obviously, Will Campbell has the high pedigree, but is a rookie. You also have another rookie backing up Bradbury, with Wilson coming in as the 3rd-round pick out of Georgia. Again, there's a lot of questions here because it is so new with 3 new starters, and is that enough? And the depth is fairly lacking. You add Schweitzer, but is a replacement level talent. You kick Vidarian Lowe back down to a backup role, and hopefully he can now start to work on his craft a little bit more as opposed to being out there every week going up against the Myles Garretts of the world. Caden Wallace, a 2nd-year player that I think we can expect some bigger things from and hopefully step into that swing tackle role. But again, I think that is some questionable depth. So I think it's fair to keep an eye on the offensive line, especially over the next 3 to 4 weeks, as we see if that unit starts to gel and have a cohesive bond that is put forth under new offensive line head coach Doug Marrone. If it does not, the Patriots could have some serious questions about the roster makeup and how that's going in, and there could be an opportunity for reinforcements to come and prop up that group. There are still several big name players and guys that you could bring in and would immediately start or add some serious firepower to the depth ranks of things. If at some point Cole Strange does struggle or does not return to form, obviously he looked okay at the end of last year, but was playing a new position at center. He will not be asked to do that again, with Bradbury getting the lead before potentially giving way to that rookie that the Patriots did take in the third round. But if the Patriots need help at that guard spot, specifically the one occupied by Cole Strange, Brandon Scherf could be that option, and a guy that it's a little surprising that he is still out there. I think just being a little long in the tooth doesn't help him right now, and also commanding probably top dollar on the free agent market. Now we are at this spot, keeps him from signing immediately, and now he can wait for the best scenario to ensure that either one of two things happen: is that he is getting a starting spot and a chance to compete either for a championship or maximizing his dollar potential at this time. Additionally, if things are not going great at those guard spots, or if even Morgan Moses needs to kick back out or onto the IR because of that injury, if Michael Onwenu has to follow him and kick out to tackle a spot that he can occupy quite well at the right tackle spot, old friend Shaq Mason could hear his name called, as he is also still unsigned at this time. Again, a guy who has acquitted himself well and could come in and immediately give a lot of good reps. And another one to file on the back burner would be Will Hernandez as well. So, again, a lot of options on the interior of this line, but two others to keep in mind should, again, if it's Moses or if the Patriots really just decide they want to have that further, more seasoned depth or just build more competitiveness along those lines. Two names. Jedrick Wills is one that we had talked about all offseason. He still remains unsigned. Again, former first rounder, pedigree, great first season, got injured, had some hiccups, did not play well last year, actually losing his starting spot and never gained it back. Again, Mike Vrabel would probably know that story better than anyone else, but a guy that could potentially find his way and work back to a starting spot in the NFL. And again, another tackle to keep an eye on would be DJ Humphries, another player who's had a very good career in the NFL and one that could provide more support for Drake May on that offensive line should that unit struggle at any point. Finally, looking back at that AFC East and the team that the Patriots and everyone else is looking up towards in the Buffalo Bills, and it has been a tough couple days for the Bills. It had long been conjectured that James Cook will be asking for a new deal. It has now become official as he is now holding out. He did not show up for practice and on Tuesday, and looking to follow suit for players like Saquon Bradley and trying to maximize his dollar output, holding out for that new deal after especially an impressive couple seasons here with the Bills as he started to break out. Again, a touchdown machine last year, and might be tough to replicate that. But knowing this would be the time for him to go out and try and get that contract. It remains to be seen if the Bills will acquiesce that request that he has by holding out. But it's not something that a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, obviously making it to the AFC Championship last season, I should say, it does not bode well for that, even in spite of having players like Ray Davis, the rookie last year, who broke out, and Ty Johnson, another NFL veteran. They have some players to hold it down, but not to the talent level that James Cook does possess. Maybe even one that is now more worrisome is the $12.5 million man for the Buffalo Bills. Joey Bosa is already hurt. Coming over from the Los Angeles Chargers through free agency, the Bills were looking to make a splash and did so with the signing, but Bosa now already apparently has pulled his calf muscle and will be missing at least the next few weeks until training camp. No more practice for Joey Bosa. This coming from head coach Sean McDermott, and it'll be interesting to see how the Bills pivot away. And again, adding guys who are on, the other side of their careers. We don't want to say quite other side of their prime, but Joey Bosa is not the player that he was at the time younger in his career. It's tougher to maintain that level of competitiveness, of just ferocity, if you will. And now him being injured already does not bode well for the Bills. Again, as the Patriots are now looking up in the standings and know who to chase, things like this go in the Patriots' way, but you cannot count on them. At the end of the day, you still got to step on the gridiron. You got to play who's ever put out there. And whether it's a backup, a guy signed off the street, or a top tier free agent, you got to play the games. But at this point in time, things are pointing up for the Patriots and a little bit more down for the Bills. That'll do it for us here on this episode of Pat's Latest. Make sure you go down, subscribe for the channel, and get the alerts for everything coming across for your New England Patriots. Get in the comments and let us know what you think of the roster turnover and if the Patriots still have some questions on the offensive line. Give us a like if you like what you hear, and check out our old episodes to get caught up on everything. We'll continue to have it for you here. Fight on, Foxborough.